Decades. For most of Islamic history, Muslims understood that there were different Qurans. But eventually, Muslim scholars and Dawagandists realized that they could impress people by lying. Here's Sheikh Yasir Qadhi telling a popular audience that since the time of Caliph Uthman, no two copies of the Quran have ever differed in even a single word or letter.
So the Caliph Uthman standardized the copies of the Quran, and therefore from his time up until our time there has never been two copies of the Quran that are different even in one letter or one word.
Perfect preservation right down to the letter. Welcome to Fantasyland. Population 1.8 billion. You just heard Sheikh Yasir Qadhi in a video made for people like Sneako, people who don't know anything about the history of the Quran, say that every copy of the Quran in the world today is completely identical to every other copy. You heard him say that, right?
From his time up until our time, there has never been two copies of the Quran that are different even in one letter or one word.
But now I'm confused, because Sheikh Yasir Qadhi definitely does not believe what he just said. How do I know that he doesn't believe what he just said? Because when he's speaking to people he calls students of knowledge, these are Muslims who are on the path to becoming scholars, he admits that there are different Qurans.
In other words, if you were to compare two printed Qurans, you're going to see differences between them.
But world-renowned Quran scholar Sneako says you're wrong, Sheikh.
And this is something that many people are unaware of and many people have heard but are not fully familiar with, especially those who have been exposed to some of our brothers who live in Algeria or Morocco or other North African countries. They recite the Quran in a slightly different way.
They recite the Quran differently? Are you simply referring to a different voice or speaking style?
Not just